Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live with Liz. Today we're talking about consulting services offered by law firms and how that can work for business development for a law firm. But before I even jump into that, I'm really excited because I just registered for INTA very, very late, and there's still time for you to register too. So shout out to all of my IP comrades that this Friday is the deadline, the absolute deadline to register for the INTA annual meeting. And they won't have on-site registration this year. So if you're going, I hope to see you in DC. If you haven't registered yet, there's still time, but you've got to do it right away. And maybe we can have one of these chats in person or meet for coffee there. So very much looking forward to getting back in person and seeing everybody. And now let's dive into what we're talking about today, these consulting services. I wanted to bring up, hey, good morning, Mariana. I can't believe you're awake so late after the Women's IP Today meeting that was in our middle of the night last night. We love how international this is, but so these consulting services that keep popping up everywhere, I've been seeing these for years. Obviously, there are businesses that have been focused on consulting services that are related to legal. And we see that, I think we've seen that mostly in accounting and in tax services. Ram Naresh Patyal, I'm probably saying your name wrong, but good evening in India. I keep forgetting about our time differences. So I've seen these most often and frequently with accounting firms and tax firms, offering financial advice mixed with legal advice. But I have also seen this quite a bit and more so with intellectual property legal services and with technology offerings. And I'm seeing this sometimes as something that's completely a separate offering or maybe even a third party partnership. And sometimes I'm seeing it kind of intertwined with the legal services that are being provided in the industry to various companies. I've seen this as a tool for marketing. I've seen this as a tool where people are coming together within a firm for their own professional development or seeking a new revenue stream or trying to provide just additional value to clients. And it's an excellent way to do so. There are a lot of examples out there of successful consulting services, but why would a firm want to offer the services to their clients in appearing to be consulting services rather than legal services? And I started to dive into this topic a little bit more to figure out what some of the motivation might be that's not just, huh, did anyone notice that I am 1000 is upside down? I'll fix that later. That may not just be a business reason or a marketing reason, but maybe there's another reason too. And in the US, I discovered that there are, well, I think two things going on. One of them is keeping up with these alternative legal service providers, which is still kind of a marketing business development reason, but a good one. And then the other one is the avoidance of certain regulations and the ability to work with business professionals who may not have the qualifications to offer legal services, but also the avoidance of malpractice and insurance requirements and maybe beating them. And I'm not sure how much merit there is to that around the world and how much the how you know is it really wise to try and do that to avoid maybe the investment in your own insurance and protection of your practice? I would say no, that probably should not be your reason. But if it's something that gives you a little extra boost, maybe it's worth looking into, especially as we see these regulations, even in the United States, expanding or relaxing to allow people in law firms to really work together with business professionals to offer more enriched services and to expand the legal services of a firm. And I think maybe there are only two jurisdictions that are allowing this now, even that thought that a non attorney could be a partner at a law firm. But when you think about the insurance that you're carrying for your professional liability or your malpractice insurance, maybe this is not the reason to justify trying to avoid that. Um, but as rates go up, and if you're on your own and trying to offer these services, is it something to look into for your business, perhaps? Now, the competition reason and the business development and marketing reasons are what are resonating with me. This is where I'm thinking, okay, we can position the services, perhaps even services that you're already offering, to have more value to a client when you approach it from the consultancy perspective. It gives you the opportunity to offer your services maybe related to training of a client, compliance programs. Maybe you have technology solutions. This is a very big area where we're seeing consulting from law firms. Technology that's been created, whether it is for maybe you create it for your own clients and then realize your clients can use it. Process solutions, best practices there. E-discovery has been a big area where we've seen law firms come in and really take over, even sometimes entirely, these programs within corporations. Strategic business advice related to the legal services that you're providing. This is absolutely a value add or can be for a client. And then just the management consulting in general, where maybe a client has a legal department that needs some structure, that needs some guidance in terms of how they should be set up and how they should be operating. But even more than that, when we talk about IP, and this is my background, intellectual property, I've seen this for a long time, but you've got brokerage, you've got technology, you've got analysis, you've got valuation. When companies are looking to expand and you're looking for safe spaces to do that, you want your legal counsel to come in sometimes to maybe even do white space analysis and figure out where those safe areas are that you're not going to infringe on other people. But we're talking about services that really amplify a business. And at that point, maybe you're adding a lot of value to your client because you're truly becoming an integrated partner with them and you're understanding the business needs and where legal fits into that. And so you're going beyond the traditional legal services and packaging a consulting offering that has more value for the client, enhances your relationship with them over time. And one of the things that I think can really benefit a law firm, maybe it seems, you know, sometimes we shouldn't think about things the way I think about them, but um, they rely on you so much that they just can't live without you. That your client becomes so dependent on having you as an integral part of what they're doing that they absolutely can't imagine their day to day without your presence in their environment and your assistance with the different tasks at hand. There are some really good examples of law firms out there that are offering consulting services. Um, there's one, Wigan, combined with Incorporo. They do technology business. They help clients protect trademark and IP rights. And that's just one example of an IP consulting offering. And sometimes, and this is a good example, we'll see that the law firm itself may not be solely offering the consulting services. Maybe it's a division of the law firm or an offshoot. Maybe it's a partnership alongside that is not entirely the law firm offering a consulting service, but is something just related to it and something that the law firm can bolster and use as a selling point without necessarily getting away from the core services that a law firm is offering in the legal realm, the legal advice that your clients rely on day to day. They want to, not cause confusion over what your offering is. But as I said, there's a lot of overlap in some of these services where law firms are like, well, we're already providing these services anyway. Is it a legal service or is it a business service? And sometimes it really is both. And sometimes you can market it that way. So that deeper reliance, that strengthening of the relationship is a value add. And I mean, sometimes when I was in house, I would hate that we didn't have any other option but to go with our outside counsel on a lot of things. But I also loved that we had this option to go with our outside counsel. So this strategic advice and these programs that you can offer through your consultancy, maybe even something that we've spoken about before, leading to sitting someone from your law firm in the corporate environment to expand on that offering and to really make sure that you understand what the corporate needs are and what the client needs are overall, which you can then apply across your market, across other clients, that these things that you've learned, of course, taking into account the confidentiality and things that you have with your clients. I'm not suggesting that you take proprietary know-how and information from one client to another, but just this experience of offering these business consulting services or this more integrated relationship on the business side of the legal services that you're providing, not just to one client, but in general as an actual service that you're offering alongside your legal services. Now, if you're in a much bigger practice, this professional development route, finding this extra revenue stream by carving out a service that is consulting can really be beneficial for you. If you're trying to climb that ladder in a firm, maybe you're not quite at partnership. Maybe you're trying to create synergies. Maybe your firm is a big B2B firm that has intellectual property as well as finance and tax law, as well as compliance, as well as all these different things that you can bring together to offer an even greater consulting service to a client, as opposed to just sort of piecemeal offerings that you find from, just one department offering something. You can offer something a bit more holistic when it comes to consulting, in line with the business goals of the client. So I'm finding that there are a lot of firms out there that can have success. One of the ones that was surprising to me when I was first looking into this topic was a success case for a firm in probably one that a lot of my IP colleagues are familiar with, Eversheds Sutherland. They have a consulting arm, and back in 2017, they reported 26 million pounds in revenue just from that consulting arm. Let us sink in. Yes, that's how successful just one firm's consulting arm was for 1 year, several years ago. So it's no wonder that firms are considering this added service with just this revenue stream. The potential for profitability there is enormous. And there are a lot of others out there. I think in IP especially, we are familiar with a lot of these firms. Bird and Bird partnered with a consultancy. This is a partnership, but ASE Consulting, and they created something called Baseline. And so you can actually market your consulting program. It can be branded. It can be something that you become familiar with, that people associate with your firm, that potential clients associate with your firm. I'm seeing this with brokerage and with valuation and technology especially. And I found this a little bit ironic as I was searching, because I find that there's this thought that all the law firms out there are so behind when it comes to technology, but it is absolutely not the case. For many firms at the forefront or at the cutting edge of what clients need when it comes to these process management solutions, client control, compliance. Sometimes it's the law firms that have developed the technology that meets the legal requirements and enhances the business operations. And that's what we're looking for when we're talking about this consulting. We're looking for the enhancement of the business, for business growth, for new opportunities, and for strategies that clients can rely on, with a business understanding that takes into account the legal risk that they may not understand. And that is where a law firm can truly shine and set itself apart, when it offers consulting services alongside those legal services, where it's not just something standalone, where it's something that really brings together a solution that is not just something that is risk averse, is not just something that is trying to avoid litigation or trying to solve a legal problem, but to actually help a business flourish and to actually become a partner, not just say you're a partner, but to really become an integrated part of your client's growth that really makes you invaluable. So if you're thinking about putting together a consulting program at your firm, or marketing the consulting services, perhaps you already even offer, but you haven't actually taken a step to set them aside and offer them as a consulting practice or as a consulting service, hit us up, give us a call, send us an email, solutions@firmforward.com. We are very happy to explore the options with you when it comes to marketing these, when it comes to setting yourself apart with this service. And if you just know of some, if you have a case study, I would love to hear about it. And like I said in the beginning, if you're going to be in DC, maybe we can even talk about it in person, have a chat over coffee. You can always message me for a coffee. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this quick chat on consulting services offered by law firms on this week's Live with Liz. We're coming at you almost every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Might be off in a couple of weeks when we're traveling for conferences, but I'll let you know, or I'll try to keep people posted. And if there's a topic you want us to cover that we haven't already, or that you'd like us to take a deeper dive into, happy to do it. Solutions@firmforward.com. Enjoy the rest of your week, and take care, everybody.